Time now for the Bob Melvin Show right here on well, I guess we don't do that anymore. How are you?
Good. I do remember that lead-in,
Remember that?
though. Yeah,
like 8 years of that.
We did that for a while. So, yeah, I don't blame you for leading with that.
Well, I think about you coming back to the Coliseum. It's more than just a guy that worked here professionally. I mean, this is a place, when you look around at the Coliseum, you've been coming to since you were a kid. You had a lot of great times as a teenager, as a student. You came back for the first time in your career in another uniform. What was it like rolling in here today?
So I got here early because I knew that it would probably be a little bit emotional for me. So first thing I did is I like to run the stairs here. So I got here, and first people that I have to see are Clay and Reba. And Reba didn't forget me. She came on a full sprint, so that made me feel good. But then looking around and running the stairs, and like I've done so many times before, a lot of, the history comes, and it gets you a little bit emotional here too. Like you said, I've been in this place since I was like 12 years old. And, my godfather was trainer of the Warriors, so I was over there a lot. I was at Raider games here. I was at Day on the Greens here. I mean, this property in particular is a place where I grew up. So to come back after a couple years, got me a little bit today.
Yeah, I was thinking about spring training, and it was an amazing moment when I was sitting there waiting for you in the visiting manager's office, a ho-ho cam, and the office is blank. There's nothing in there but a white envelope that says Robert on it. And it was from Steve Vucinich. And this was Steve Vucinich. We're going to have his retirement party and everything. But he had that letter for you, thanking you. I know there was some weird apology in there that he didn't need to, but just who Vuce is. I just think about the relationships, just not the players, because all the players have come through here, by the way. We've had everybody from Olson, Chapman, Simeon, just had Bassett. They all bring you up. I don't even ask. They bring you up about what you've meant in their lives. Just talk about the relationships with this organization, from the players to a Steve Vucinich, what that's been like, thinking about that since you've left.
Well, if you hadn't have brought those people up, I would have at some point in time too. So there was just a closeness here in this organization, in my time here. Because of the continuity here, we brought people up from the minor leagues. They came here. We brought coaches up from our minor league system. Keith Lippman was a huge part of that. There was continuity in leadership. It was Billy at the top. It was David. It was Keith Lippman. It was Billy Owens. It was myself. It was a coaching staff that was here for so long. So you form some bonds with these people. And then when the kids come up through the system, it's the same thing here. Everybody has pride in being in an Oakland A because everybody basically is here from the system. So I think that's the thing I think about most when you talk about the players here and the front office and ownership and everybody from here. It just felt like a family. And, that's probably what I missed most.
Yeah, all the ex-players, they all bring you up, and they all talk about, I mean, it's not necessarily about the wins and the losses. It's about how you help them grow as men and grow in their careers. You've gotten to now face them as the manager of the Padres. What's it like when you get to see them, knowing that relationship and how much you've meant to them as men?
Well, it's a two-way street. So they've meant just as much to me and helped me grow and helped me become a better manager too. And then when Marcus Simeon comes to home plate and I have to watch that on the other side, it's not a great feeling. Matt Chapman tips his hat to me. Chris Bassett plays walk-up songs that I suggested for him in the past. So, I mean, it gets you a little bit for a while, but, they're all such big parts of my career. And, but more than anything, like you talk about, it would always felt like a family here, and everybody had everybody's back.
Well, I know you're not shocked that every once in a while I'll get onto a topic and I'll rant and rave about it for a while and let fans know how I feel. And my latest is, with Captain Sal recently going into the A's Hall of Fame, having his family here, knowing what he meant. Once again, it's about relationships. It's about leadership. When we celebrate the 72 team or the 73 team, you've got these men who show up here who are in their 70s who still refer to him as Captain Sal. It just shows what a leader he was. And as a 3-time World Series champion, the numbers. And then I think about you as the all-time winningest manager for the A's and how much Sal meant to you in your life and getting you into a new career beyond your playing days. I love the idea of retiring number 6 for both of you. I know you're very humble and you're not going to talk about yourself, but at least can you talk about for Captain Sal how this number should be retired for both of you, especially what he's done for this
Well,
organization?
I wouldn't be in the position I'm in right now without Captain Sal. He gave me my first job, outside of being a player, and basically spoon fed me, allowed me to see the front office, allowed me to see player development. He showed me what an entire organization looks like and how it's structured, and it meant so much to me, and it was so helpful to me. And then to my first big league job with Phil Garner, I can't say enough about how much this guy's meant for my career. For me, more than anything, being able to wear number 6 because of Sal Bando, that's the thing that I remember the most, was putting that uniform on every day with pride, looking at that number 6 and seeing Bando in my mind on the back because I grew up watching that. That for me is the most important thing and what he's meant for this organization and for the people of Oakland and still does. So, you don't have to talk me into being a Sal Bando fan that's been there for quite some time.
I can see it. Padres come back next year, get his family here, your family here. We retire number 6. It could be perfect.
I don't know that we come here next year, do we? I think they come to our place.
Don't we flip-flop to each other's ballparks every year, or is it every other year?
Next year, San Diego.
Yeah. Next year in San Diego. Okay, in 2 years we'll do it.
We'll see if I'm doing this in 2 years. But look, it's Sal alone probably belongs up with those numbers up there.
I think about winning. Winning is hard. It really, really is hard. And hasn't been easy for you in San Diego this year. Obviously, the year before, you caught lightning in a bottle and you took it all the way to the NLCS. We were all rooting for you. I think people just forget no matter what. It doesn't matter how you build the team, how much money you spend, how you drive it. Winning in professional sports, as you said, you've been around it all the way back when you were a kid with the Warriors. Doesn't matter what sport, winning is hard.
It is. And we proved it this year. So, with the expectations this team had based on where we ended up last year with the players that we brought in, it was supposed to be a lot different than it is right now. And I think this year is as much as any year, it proves that, payroll doesn't guarantee you anything. Look at the Yankees, look at the Mets, look at us. We're the 3 highest payroll teams, and none of them have lived up to expectations. So it's not about that. It's playing as a team, it's playing as a unit, and that's the most important thing. And for whatever reason, we haven't been able to do that nearly as well as we did last year, and that's why we're in the position we're in.
When you think about finishing strong, how tough is it when you've had the year you guys have had and still be preaching, got to finish strong, got to finish strong?
Yeah, well, they preaching it too, and you can see they're playing hard every day. They're probably playing as well as they have all year right now, so they're going to be a challenge for us. But you have to. This is what you play. I mean, we're major leaguers. We have to play until the last out of the last game, and it's important that we do. So, as a coaching staff here, that's something that we continue to preach. Hopefully, that comes to fruition, and hopefully, we finish out strong because it's been a frustrating year for everybody here.
So how is it in San Diego from the standpoint of what we always did with you? Who's the Chris Townsend in San Diego, and how much you doing down there? Is it like what we did up here, or is it completely different?
No, and I just saw Ken Korak there too. I don't do a radio show every day. I do one every like third week, but it's not like it is here where we do things, pretty regimented with these type of things and in the pregame shows. There's a lot going on in San Diego, and it's so a little different as far as that goes, but every place is different.
Well, I can't thank you enough for everything you did for us. I mean, to tell people I wasn't even working for A's. I was working for 95.7 The Game. The team and the station were going to go through a divorce. You had my back that whole time, and then we created this thing, A's Cast, which turned into A's Cast Live, which is now we're number 1 in all of Major League Baseball. And you were always so supportive of what we did, and you went above and beyond what most managers would do to help us. And I can't thank you enough for all the support you gave us. And one of the reasons we were able to grow the way we did was because of how you treated us.
Well, the feeling's mutual and how you treated me as well here. And I remember in 12 when we lost to the Tigers that last game, I was listening to the show on the way home, and I pulled over the side of the road. My daughter was with me in the car, and I called in because I wanted to thank our fans that year for what they meant to this team. And from that point on, it was just part of what we did here. And And so, as much as you say that I've been such a big part of what you've done, congratulations to you and Cody, what you've done with A's Cast, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And just real quickly, I know how much A's fans meant to you. They still mean to you. Something special is going to happen here. I don't know what it is, but these fans, you always cared about the fans. You always said when we had a fireworks night or a giveaway night that you wanted to perform well, you wanted to win for the fans. There's this fan base loves you. You love them.
Well, thank you. And it did. I used to get really nervous when we had really, really big crowds because you wanted to put on a good show for them. Because everybody, regardless of who's here on a particular night, they're watching, they're listening. It's gone on for years and years and years and years. Listening to Bill King and Ken Korak and all the great voices here, yourself now. It's a big part of A's baseball, so it meant a lot to me.
The great Bob Melvin right here on A's Cast Live.